Hi, this is DJ TLR from Creme Organization on Batofar boat in Paris at the moment. We're doing a label night here and you are watching Intruders Television.
You come often to play in France?
Not so much in France, but lately in Paris, yes. Well, this is the fourth time I'm here this year, so that's quite a lot for international connection.
And about your label parties, you make lots of label parties like this?
Not so much like this. This is quite a big one. We do this in Holland more often, but yeah, it's a bit. To do it in other countries it's a big production, it takes a lot of planning and a lot of people, and so it doesn't happen so often, to be honest. Usually maybe we go with 2 or 3 people maximum, but not like 8 or 9. Now this whole restaurant is filled with Dutch people and there's more coming, so it's quite special.
And about the label, it's a very respected label for its very underground approach. What was the basics when you set up your label 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago?
Just to have an outlet, I wanted something that I can control myself. I mean, I have a lot of friends around me with labels. There were a lot of labels in Holland at the time in the area, like Bunker Records and Fulex and Clone. All these labels were happening, but I just want my own thing, so I can put my own footprint or something like.
And has there been a special evolution in these 10 years which has come?
Special what? Special evolution in the music. Yeah, the music has changed, I think. It always changes. I mean, because it goes with my personal taste. It changes, and also what artists make. The music that you get from people changes. So it evolves, but the approach is always the same, I think. But the sounds maybe become a bit different. But the roots are always there. I know.
And about the sounds, we may say that it's not really one color of sounds, it's more an idea of being maybe extreme in the approach of sounds, not to be too much in the middle.
I don't know, it's not so conscious, it's just what we like, what I like. There's so many music out there, but I just happen to like music that's a bit raw and unfinished and a bit vibrant, and colorful or something. Not too clean, not too how should I say? A bit extrovert, not too
not something too much work to be clean, as you say, something that is raw in a kind of way, even if it's in different style of house or techno music.
Yeah, something that sounds a bit natural and is a bit round. I don't like very staccato things, And it's very important that it somehow has space to imagine something with it. It shouldn't be like boring. You have to challenge your imagination a bit. You can make a story up when you hear it.
And when we spoke about something raw or something like this, you sometimes ask your artist to work a little bit more on the tracks sometimes.
No, I don't have to do that because I get music, and if I like it, I release it. There's many tracks that I don't release, and things go to other labels or whatever. I mean, I don't have to, I cannot tell them what to make. It doesn't make any sense. It's their thing. I cannot. I'm not the art director of their music. I just release what I like from what they give me.
And in the management, you manage about the mastering, or is the artist you let the artist to be free about mastering, things like this?
The artists, of course, they give a finished product, and before it's ready to be pressed on a record, it has to be. It depends. Sometimes quality is better than others, but I work together with a guy at the pressing plant. He's an older guy. It's very. He's been in the business very long, like 30, 40 years. He used to work for EMI, did all this major label stuff, and I do it with him. So we just get it ready to press, and it's not so important that it's like a trance record. It sounds super loud as long as it's nice, you know.
And I've seen that in 10 years you released around 150, not only vinyl but sometimes digital. It's really much. Some people say that they don't want to release too much records on the label. Some others say no, it doesn't matter if you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think you shouldn't release too much in a short time period. So if you start releasing 4 or 5 records in a month, it becomes too much. People will lose track. But for me, if you do it steady for 10 years, you do 12 records a year, 13 records a year, then you have 130 records. Just because it's been going for a long time, so it grows by itself. But it still is 1 record each month. It's not. I don't think that's too much at all. And I don't believe in keeping it small for the sake of keeping it small. That's ridiculous. It's music. It has to be free. It has to be out in the world. It's not exclusivity. That's all nonsense.
With all the release you can make, didn't you have the idea maybe to make some sub labels?
Yeah, I did some sub labels in the past. Well, I've one label it's not really labeled. It's been running also for 10 years. Creme Eclipse. That's a bit more darker electro kind of stuff. A bit more dark wave, even EBM, kind of things. In the beginning, I did quite a lot of releases there, but it's been quiet for a while. But now I'm starting to pick it up a bit. And I did Creme Jack, which was more like harder Chicago house, but I stopped that label recently because I felt it was finished. There's nothing much to add, but I'm starting a new label next year. This will be called R-Zone. It's R-Zone, and it's going to be a bit different because it's a bit more old. Well, not old. It's new, but it's a bit more weird after hours, druggy techno rave stuff. A bit dance floor stuff, but late hours, and there are not going to be any artist releases on it. It's all under the same label name. So it will be a collective of people. Everybody releases under that name, and so it will be a bit more mysterious who's doing what. Every release is different artists or made by different people, but you don't necessarily know because it all has the same image.
It's going to be the same artist name, but it's going to be a collective.
There's a label name, and that's going to be the only name on it. There will be production credits on it, but no artist names. Pretty much every record it's going to be a series, with a specific sound that's made by different people, but all under the same roof. And I already have a few of them ready, and there's a few people working for it now, and quite well-known producers actually. But it's very cool, I think, to keep that very low, instead of exploiting that and making another label that collects a series of names. It's always the same, like Discogs plays with 10 releases, a list of names, and that's it. Every label starts to look the same to me, so it needs different things.
That comes with when I spoke about your approach, very, very underground.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I still don't really think of it like that. I just, you have idea and you can do it. It's it's complete freedom in that way. So, yeah, and it turns out underground because it's we don't. It's not run like a major label. It's, but pretty much everything is almost underground these days. You know, like I can think of very little things that are not underground except maybe Skrillex and David Guetta. And, yeah, but that is something else. But pretty much all dance music, even if it's a bit bigger, it's all underground. Thank you for enjoying the music, and maybe if you haven't enjoyed it so far, now would be a good chance to start listening to it and checking it out. So we'll be seeing you around. We're not going anywhere, I think. Peace.